This is 9.4, day 1, operations with functions. Today we're going to teach you how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide functions. Here are some of the operations. You don't need to write them down. We're going to add two functions together, subtract the functions, multiply them, and divide them. They can be written two different ways. One of them can be written with the two parentheses, or two things in the parentheses, or you can separate out as f of x plus g of x. Again, don't write these down. F minus g, or f of x minus g of x, f times g, or f of x times g of x. And then last one, f divided by g is the same thing as the function divided, the f function divided by the g function. Let's go on to our first example. We have these two given functions, the blue function and the green function, and we're going to do some operations with it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add the two functions together. So we're going to take the f function and add it to the blue function. So there's the f function, and then we will add it to the red function. Now, I'm going to go ahead and drop the parentheses. And then combine any like terms and making sure we have it in standard form. So we have some like terms with the negative 7x squared plus 7x squared. Those become 0. Then we have 12x is the next term, so 12x. And then we have a pair of like terms with the constants, plus 2 and minus 5. So plus 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So our answer then is 12x minus 3. In part B, it says take f plus g and evaluate it for 2. So after you add them, you can just substitute 2 in for x. So 12 times 2 minus 3. 12 times 2 is 24, minus 3 is 21. So f plus g of 2 is 21. All right, here's the same given two functions again, so just go ahead and write question C. Now we're going to subtract the two functions. So we take that original blue one like we had in the last two examples, negative 7x squared plus 12x plus 2. And we're going to subtract it from the red function. Where students make mistakes is they forget to distribute this negative through to both terms. So I can drop the first parentheses, and then I'm going to distribute the negative through. So now I have negative 7x squared and then plus 5. Now I combine like terms. I have like terms with the negative 7x squared and negative 7x squared become negative 14x squared. Then this 12x is alone, so that's the next highest term. And then my last pair of like terms is plus 2 and plus 5 become plus 7. So there is my answer. F minus g is negative 14x squared plus 12x plus 7. Now let's go on to multiplication. So we have a new pair of functions, f and g, and we want to multiply these two functions together. So we're going to multiply the blue function, 3x squared plus 1, to the red function, g of x, 5x minus 2. What we have is a binomial times a binomial, so we have to FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. We've had a lot of practice with this. So 3x squared times 5x is 15x to the third. Then, outside, 3x squared times negative 2 is negative 6x squared. Then we go to the inside. 1 times 5x is 5x. And then last, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Then we look to see if it's in standard form, any terms that we need to combine together, and there isn't. So f times g of x equals 15x cubed minus 6x squared plus 5x minus 2. In part B, we want to take f times g of 3. Well, we've already found f times g, so now we just evaluate the function wherever there's an x. So we're going to substitute 3 into those 3 places. So we have 15 times 3 cubed minus 6 times 3 squared plus 5 times 3 and then minus 2. Now we're going to do our orders of operations and simplify it. So we're going to do our multiplication first with the exponents. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 3 times 3 is 9. Looks like I didn't leave myself enough room to finish this problem. So we'll just go off to the side here. So then we multiply 15 times 27 is 405. 6 times 9 is 54 with a negative. Then 5 times 3 is 15. Now, last step in PEMDAS is do your adding and subtracting. So 405 minus 54 plus 15 minus 2 is 364. All right, last one on this slide is now to divide these two functions. So we're going to take the blue function and divide the red function. So the original blue function was 3x squared plus 1. Over g of x, which was the red function, and that is 5x minus 2. So f divided by g equals 3x squared plus 1 all over 5x minus 2. We'll just do another example here. Now it's saying find f times g of 5 plus f of 4. So multiple steps are going on here. So we want to multiply the blue and the red function together. So 3x squared plus 1 times the red. And then we are going to evaluate it. So I'm going to FOIL those first. So 3x squared plus 5x, 15x squared, 3x squared minus 2 times negative 2 is negative 6x squared. Now we go to inside. That should be cubed here. Plus 5x, and then minus 2. Then we're going to substitute 5 in. So 15, 5 cubed, minus 6 times 5 squared, plus 5 times 5 minus 2. Do our PEMDAS. Do our exponents first. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. 5 times 5 is 25. Rewrite everything else. And then we do our multiplication. 15 times 125 is 1875. 6 times 25 is 150. 5 times 5 is 25. And then subtract 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring down this last operation. It's saying add f of 4. So we're going to substitute 4 right up there. So 3 plus 4 squared plus 1, wherever there's an x. So let's take care of that piece. Plus 3, 4 times 4 is 16, and then 3 times 16 is 48, and then plus 1. Now let's go ahead, do our last step. 1875 minus 150 plus 25 minus 2 plus 48 plus 1. Then our final answer is 1,797. I'll stop the recording there.